This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Minimal Case. Minimal is so excited about the Pixel 4, they're giving you 25% off your order for the brand new Pixel 4 case that you're going to pick up. The Pixel 4 is beautiful, and you want a case that is so thin and light, it'll keep that phone as beautiful as the day you bought it. And to make that even sweeter, here's 25% off your order. Just use promo code DIGITPIXEL4 at checkout, because this is a Digit Daily and you're celebrating the Pixel 4. But you can use this code for any case for any phone. Once again, go to mnmlcase.com and use promo code DGITPixel and the number 4 to get 25% off your order, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Doud here, and happy Halloween. Get those bowls of candy ready to go as all the little kitties come calling in their cute little costumes. But remember, kids, save the Tootsie Rolls for Daddy. Oh, and before we get to it, programming note. The Digit Monthly newsletter will be coming out today or tomorrow as usual, but the podcast edition will probably come on Saturday unless a miracle happens. But hey, it'll give you a little bit more me over the weekend, which is always nice. So for now, it is October 31st, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. Today, we're going to zoom out and take a look at the smartphone industry as a whole. It's the first month past the end of a quarter, and earnings calls have all been made, giving us a good picture as to the state of the industry. Last year, Apple told investors that it was no longer going to report sales numbers. Just before that, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 failed to drive sales as expected. Meanwhile, the powerhouse that was Huawei was charging, taking over the number 2 slot in smartphone sales. But here we are today, as Tristan puts it, this is 2019 in 3 headlines, and we're going to break these down one by one. First up, strong Galaxy Note 10 sales help stem falling Samsung profits. Samsung is selling many more Galaxy Note 10s than Note 9s the previous year. Analysts suggest that releasing 2 sizes of a Note 10 probably helped, just like adding the third Galaxy S10 earlier this year helped those sales figures. I can't wait until 2025 when Samsung releases the Galaxy Note 16, the Note 16 Plus, the Note 16 Pro Plus, the Note 16 Super Double Pro, the Note 16 Super Double Pro Plus, and the Note 16, E. Investors are going to love that. For our next headline, what trade ban? Q3 2019 reports make you wonder what could have been for Huawei. Huawei sales increased by 30% year over year. 30% in the quarter after being added to the entity list. Good job, US. You really showed them. Now, analysts say that the bulk of Huawei shipments were for phones that Google certified prior to the ban. So as those phones age, they will not age gracefully. They will become drastically less appealing. Basically, this is the exact time that Samsung and Xiaomi can step on Huawei's throat and take advantage of a situation. All told, these numbers won't continue for Huawei while the trade ban is in effect. They're basically on a clock. And speaking of being on a clock, Sony shipped 600,000 smartphones last quarter, which is just under what Huawei ships in a day. And finally, Apple's iPhone sales beat estimates, which is the good news. The bad news is that sales did in fact still decline. Apple also said that the Apple install base grew to all-time highs in all geographic segments, which means that people aren't buying new phones, but they aren't turning their old ones off either. And of course, the answer to this is 5G, 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 and Jesus people, 5G is not the answer. At least not in early 2020. Maybe, if carriers can roll out coast-to-coast 5G in every urban center from New York to Lincoln, Nebraska, maybe then we'll see a 5G iPhone. But not before. And I'm not just talking about Sprint and T-Mobile. I'm talking about AT&T and Verizon need coverage there too. I'm just going to say it now, folks. 2021 at the earliest. Apple looks to release at least 4 iPhones next year, including successors to the phones that we just saw last month, plus a new edition of the iPhone SE, plus the imaginary iPhone 5G that isn't going to happen. All told, Apple looks to ship 200 million units in 2020, which means that'll be 200 million years of Apple TV it's giving away. That's a whole lot of Jason Momoa, I'm just saying. So overall, it seems things are looking up in the smartphone space as long as every major OEM can figure out how to add a new phone to its flagship lineup every year. That shouldn't be a problem, at least not for a while. We're already used to Pro and Plus. How about Ace? The Samsung Galaxy S11 Ace. Nah, I don't see it. So while Samsung executives Google synonyms for Pro, let's head into the roundup! The LG G8X is LG's take on a folding phone. It's just two screens by way of a dual-screen accessory it ships with the phone. My biggest takeaway from the review is that this is mostly an LG G8 without the blood reading sensors, and that's okay. The hinge on the dual screen has been improved, so now it's a fluid 360-degree motion as opposed to locking into one or two positions like it did before. That's a much more versatile approach that I did not get on the LG V50 that I had the chance to try out, and that's a good thing. This phone retails for $699, which is a great price point for everything this phone offers. If you're in the market and you don't want to drop a Grover Cleveland on the phone, you should give this phone a look. Plus, now you can also win bar bets about Grover Cleveland being on the $1,000 bill. You're welcome. I have often said that the Oculus Quest is about the best technology that you can buy for $400. Well, stop the presses because DJI just released a new Mavic Mini for, you guessed it, $400. This is the latest and smallest in the Mavic line. It's so small that you don't have to register it with the FAA. Plus, it has a 2.7K camera, so no 4K for you, but it's $400. It flies for 30 minutes at a stretch, and it has a range of over 2.5 miles. Now, it is tiny, so how that stands up in high winds remains to be seen, but I can tell you that the DJI drones that I have flown, you can let go of the sticks, go make yourself a cup of coffee, and this drone will be waiting for you when you get back. So, wait for full reviews to come out, but this looks like as close to a no-brainer for a drone deal that you can get. Getting back to sales numbers, because nothing makes a more scintillating podcast topic than sales numbers, Apple may be laying the groundwork for a subscription service for iPhones. That could take the form of a $40 per month payment, and you just upgrade your iPhone whenever you want. Most carriers have this already in one form or another, but Apple could bring carrier sales to a grinding halt by offering its own plan with its own perks like, for example, schedule an appointment at an Apple store, and we'll have your new iPhone already loaded up for you when you walk in the door. Something like that. Let's just say, it wouldn't surprise me to see Apple roll something like this out in the not too distant future. And finally, Twitter took a shot at Facebook by announcing that it would ban all political and, quote, issue-based ads from the platform. Meanwhile, Facebook doubled down on its stance of free speech, even if it's lies on its platform. And here's the thing. I'm honestly not sure which side of the fence I fall on in this issue. Facebook was a real tool used to alter elections in 2016, which is bad, but silencing political discourse may not really be what the country needs right now. Personally, I think that political ads should be fact-checked, which will be easy because politicians lie all the time, like literally always. It would be nice to see one effective platform actually take responsibility for its own effectiveness and force just a little bit of truth out of these folks. But maybe that's just me. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Doud, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.